Hi, everybody. How are you all? Let's talk about two women in labor. One kicked out of the hospital, had to have the baby in the car, while the other one screamed in pain and in horror as she was ignored by a now fired triage nurse. Let me show you all this real quick. It's going to be hard to watch, but let's do it. Shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
Right now. Is your due date 11? What? How many times have you been pregnant? 3. This is your third pregnancy? Yes. You have 2 babies
It's
at home?
in my ass.
You have 2 babies at home? Who's your doctor?
Lang is her doctor. Y'all treat all your patients like this or just the black ones?
Beverly, this is LaCrista. I have a patient for you. Alright, last name is Jones. She's G3P2. I'm not sure when her due date is.
Her due
I
date is
just
the
said it
10th.
was the 10th.
I think her due date is the 10th.
She have 3 pregnancies, 2 babies at home.
2, unfortunately,
She don't care. She could care less.
I bet y'all listen next time. When you found out you was delivering at this hospital, your ass should have changed doctors.
Ah!
Thank you.
Everybody say how they treat people here.
That's just one of them. But I tell you, that is hard to watch. But we're going to talk about it, shall we? Oh, yes, we shall.
A sweet old auntie. Thank you, subscribers and my nieces and nephews and all of y'all who have been here through the long haul. Shall we get into it? Oh, yes, we shall. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice. It's time for Auntie Advice.
Welcome back, everybody. And this is Auntie. Y'all, in the video you just saw, the heartbreaking video you just saw, this was a Dallas woman who was in active labor. She was being kept in a triage room. This video has gained 36 million views, sparking allegations of discrimination at a Dallas Regional Medical Center in Texas. Karrie Jones posted the video to TikTok Friday, showing her daughter Karrie double over in pain in a freaking wheelchair, while a nonchalant, irresponsible, negligent nurse conducted an admissions interview. Now, for many of you all, you know that when you are going into a hospital, you have to do admissions. But if you are in a lot of pain, having a baby, and other conditions that you may come into the emergency room with, they can do that at your bedside after everything is over. What did she think the woman was going to do? Had a baby and backpedal and not pay for it? She could have did this at this woman's bedside. Her daughter, Miss Cash Jones' daughter, was double over in pain in a wheelchair while this irresponsible nurse conducted the thing. According to her mom, the staff kept her daughter in the waiting room in that much pain, hollering and screaming for more than 30 minutes before moving her to a delivery room where she had that baby in 12 minutes. In that video, her mother is heard saying, "Y'all treat all y'all patients like this or just the black ones." Karrie, the daughter, said in a post that she called the hospital before arriving to inform them that she was in active labor. She alleged that the staff dismissed them and insisted on completing freaking paperwork before taking her to a delivery room despite her visible pain. Her mother pushed the door. We push her into the door. I say, "Can we get her into labor and delivery?" The nurse said, "No. We have to fill out all this paperwork. I have to do this paperwork and get her a band before we can send her upstairs." Before then, they could care less. They did not care if she gave birth in that freaking wheelchair, her mother added. This incident highlights the ongoing trend in maternal health disparities and racial biases in healthcare. In a 2023 report by the Policy Center for Maternal Health, they found that Black women experienced 50 deaths for every 100,000 live births, an increase from the previous year. By comparison, mortality rates for white, Hispanic, and Asian women are below 20 per 100,000 births. In a separate video, her mother said her daughter and a newborn were undergoing medical tests, claiming that the baby was born with his eyes open due to the stress and the trauma that occurred in the triage area. The Dallas Regional Medical Center issued a statement, according to the Houston Chronicle, saying it could not provide specifics due to patient privacy laws, but is reviewing the situation. That nurse has since been fired, as she should be. In another story that's going to be hard for you to watch, another mom went into the hospital, a Black mom. She is seen being wheeled out and has her baby in the car. Let me bring that out. Let's bring it out. Just one second. Just one second. That's the only thing about TikTok is as soon as it come on, it's on. Okay, the mic is on. So just one second while I get this together. Hold on, y'all. I want y'all to see this, and then we're gonna discuss it. Uh, just one second while I set it up. Trying to find a volume button. Where is the volume button? Just 1 second, y'all. Just 1 second. Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Okay. It's okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. My nerves is a wreck having to cover these stories. I'm hoping everybody had a great Monday on purpose. Just 1 second. This is another video of how people have felt about how the nurses handled the baby when the baby came out. Just 1 second. I'm going to bring that up. Now, people are concerned about this because of how she handled the baby, the roughness. Susie said just squeezed itself out a little hole, looks great, and probably helped get all those something. Just 1 second. Hold on. Let me go to Cash Mamas. And here we are. Just 1 second. Only God can do. So the thing I don't like about TikTok is that TikTok plays music. Just 1 second. Let me mute this out. I want to go to the one where she talks about, let me see if it has music. Just 1 second. Okay, so this is the video where her mom came back on social media. Hey Tamika, let me know if you need me to drop the link. This is a video where the mother is talking about the aftermath of what happened to the baby. Just 1 second, I'll bring that up. It doesn't have any music. I guess that's the only thing I don't like about TikTok is in TikTok, it is okay. It is not a copyright violation to play music. However, YouTube is different. So when y'all see me fumbling and bumbling, that's what's happening, okay? So let's listen to the mom as she shares.
And baby Cash, they are doing well. He has a doctor's appointment tomorrow at the pediatric center. It's a lot of concerns. They taking tests on him. He still have to go through several other tests down the line because he was born with his eyes open, and due to the stress and trauma that occurred in the triage area, the baby had a bowel movement in mom, and the fluids was green, and like I said, he born with his eyes open. So they are, taking all that in consideration as well. But he's eating well, sleeping well, looking good. And I was also reading a lot of the comments, and some of you under the impression it was twins. They are not twins. This is daughter with baby Cash, and this is other daughter with baby DJ. They are a month apart. DJ born 10/10 and KJ born 11/11. Thank you again for your support and your concerns, and we will most definitely keep you updated.
Okay, so as you all can see, the baby is fine. And the nurse who was accused, I mean the nurse that we saw, because they ain't no accused, Auntie, ain't no need to try to be politically correct. The nurse who was fired is LaCrista Vaughn, as she should have been. I am. It is understood that this is not her first time going through something like this. She has been accused of doing this with another patient. Okay. And this particular patient, I'm going to show you what she did with it. Now, this one got music to it, so I'll have to find one that does not. Oh my goodness. Y'all talk about irritating on TikTok. TikTok is okay. So what they're saying is they're doing civil and punitive damages for what she did. So let me see if I can pull that up in the article. Okay, let's pull that up in the article so that we don't have any violations. Okay, on my YouTube channel. Just 1 second, y'all. Of course, I'm bringing it up. I want to be able to give y'all a full picture of what is going on. I want to give y'all a full picture of what's going on. So it takes me a little while sometimes to bring it up, but we'll get it. We'll get it. I promise you we'll get it. So in an article that came out on November 16th, which was yesterday, the nurse has been fired for ignoring the Black woman in labor. She is a nurse in Texas. Her name is LaCrista Vaughn. And rather than immediately addressing the distressed mother, Miss Karrie Jones, she continued to ask questions about her medical history while the laboring woman grows increasingly restless and in pain. Um, just 1 second. Just 1 second. She told her what got to me was it says Cash says she begged for a wheelchair after telling staff her daughter was in active labor. She alleged she was told to look for a wheelchair. So you're coming into the hospital with your daughter who is in active labor. Active labor. You're being told when you ask for a wheelchair because you can barely walk. Now, anybody like me that ever been in labor, you know labor is the worst pain you gonna ever feel in your whole entire life. I really believe that men should be having babies. Okay. But anyway, I digress. That's another subject for another day. But you're coming into the hospital. You're the mom. This is your child. The child that you birthed through your birth canal or by C-section, right? Because even if you have a C-section, you still got to go through a certain amount of time of labor because they want you to be dilated, want the baby to be dilated. You're coming into the hospital, y'all. You're coming into the hospital. Her mother said she begged for a wheelchair. after telling staff her daughter was in active labor. She alleged that she was told to look for one by the vending machines before a receptionist eventually brought one out. And a police officer helped her to get her from the car into the wheelchair, where she felt her daughter on her hands and knees saying, "It's in my eye." Cash says she returned inside moments later to find her daughter screaming that the baby was coming, while the staff insisted they can't do anything until she signs some paper. Her mother said the lack of urgency left her stunned and probably wanting to fight. Y'all know daggone well the mother was up in. You know you want to fight. You see your baby hurting. And let me tell you this, I don't have one, but I heard it's worse when it's a grandbaby. I heard when you have a grandbaby that it's a whole different level of love and urgency and care and concern. Can you imagine? Now, this is what I'm hearing. Y'all let me know if y'all grandparents, if your love for your grandparent, your grandbabies is different for your love for your child. Y'all let me know, because these are the rumors that's out there in the street. Y'all let me know. But the rumors out in the street is that you would straight go to jail or hell for your grandbabies. The grandmother said the lack of urgency left her stunned, and she told her, "Do not go to this hospital." She said she had already told her they don't care about black women and their babies, because she had already had an experience as an example of medical racism. The emergence of this video has left many people shocked at the degree of nonchalance and indifference that black women receive in care. People on TikTok went off. They had to find her. They had to find her. Somebody on TikTok said, "We got her name. Make her famous for her empathetic, life-threatening, nonchalant, negligent, and jeopardizing work ethic, her lack thereof, to a full-term pregnant black mother." The TikToker said, "Yes, this is about race. If you see the video, you'll know." She said, "Also, we get to see why black women lose their lives and their babies during childbirth. She needs to be fired. Maybe the story not may the story not cease until there's justice." Someone else said, "The disparity in quality of care for non-white folks is staggering, especially when it comes to women. If you only look at mothers who died in childbirth, just that one statistic is enough to blow your mind." According to statistics, black women are 3 times more likely to die in childbirth. Why? Because the medical field still treats women in general as though their own and complaints are made up, but specifically the less melanated women. Someone else came back and rebutted it and said the following: "Everyone is quick to go to the race card, but everyone completely ignores systematic healthcare worker burnout. Take your raggedy home then. You're not in the right field. You automatically know you're going to be doing hours on top of hours when you go work in a hospital. I will never forget going into the Black Museum in Washington, D.C., of course, and seeing how they had these chains and tools that they use because they did not believe that Black women were human. So they experimented on them and everything. And y'all, when you look at the chains that they had on these women and the tools, they were so barbaric. I mean, barbaric. It was one of those exhibits that I stood in and wept. Now, I'm a crybaby, okay? I know I may not seem like it, but I'm a crybaby. When I saw that, I'm talking about bawling, crying. Okay, okay, I see you, Ray Della. Let me continue. The person went on to say, but everyone completely ignores systematic healthcare worker burnout, constantly working with unsafe ratios, high nurses running away from bedsides in droves. This is not racism. This is a sign of the American healthcare collapsing. Okay. Responding to the video, a Dallas Regional Medical Center spokesman stated, at Dallas Regional Medical Center, the safety, dignity, and well being of our patients are always our highest priorities. We are committed to providing compassionate, none was shown there, high quality care to every person who comes through our doors, and we are reviewing this situation to understand what occurred. Due to patient privacy, bull crap. Anyway, she got fired. She was finally fired. She is a mother of twin boys. There are multiple videos on this woman who just seems like she does not care. And I don't know if she's burnt out. I don't know what she was thinking in her mind. But to have someone sitting out there screaming and hollering like that is absolutely unacceptable on every level. Before I drop the link for Tamika, I'm going to bring up another video because there is another woman who is also Black who was at the hospital in active labor, who was rolled out of the hospital and had to have her baby where? In the car. Viewer discretion is advised. Let me bring it up. Now, I thought I had it set up, but give me a chance to set it up, okay? And mute this. Let me find her. So, why does that work? Okay, so here is the woman. Let me see if it gets, yeah. Okay, here it is. So if y'all hear something go awry, is because I have absolutely cut that music off. So, okay. We're live, so we do is live, right? I didn't sit down to edit this. You will be passing all of that. I thank you so much, y'all, for being here. If this is your first time, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, turn your notification bells on so that every time I go live, you go live with me. To all of my members who are in green, thank you so much for being so loyal and becoming a member. To my nieces and my nephews who are always here, thank you so much for your continued support. So I'm going to bring this video up again. Viewer discretion is advised.
My daughter's in active labor, and this is a Franciscan Crown Point being put out in active labor.
Now she is being put out of the hospital in active labor because allegedly she has not dilated as much, right? I can't remember how many centimeters you got to be, but you got to be pretty dilated. It is obvious from the breathing that she is dilated at least 5 centimeters. Let's come up to the left. Don't play with it. And if you didn't examine her, if you did not put her up on the bed to do a check to see how much she's dilated, how do you know that she is not dilated enough to have a baby? This is torture, in my opinion. Let me drop the link for Tamika so when I come back, she be ready. Ray Dalla, here's the link for Tamika. While we wait for Tamika, I'm going to go back.
My daughter's.
This is them her being kicked out of the hospital when she is in active labor. The mother says, my daughter is being kicked out of the hospital.
Being kicked out of this hospital and she's in active labor.
And see, the thing about it is, in order for her not to appear to be the crazy black woman, she got to do all this in silence. She doesn't have the privilege, if you will, to scream and cuss and go off. She got to be calm and dignified in the face of this. She got to be dignified. She cannot lose her cool, scream and yell, tish off the wall. She can't do that because then she's an angry, belligerent black woman. Eight minutes later, Let me get myself together. Just 1 second, y'all. Just 1 second.
Yes, it's about my uterus.
Let's find out what the husband said. Hey, Tamika.
Sorry, I didn't realize I was muted. Hey, Auntie. Hey,
No
cousin.
sorry, no sorry necessary. Hi, boo.
This is horrible. So horrible. I have not seen that second video. I've seen the first one. And unfortunately, this story is not isolated. It's been complaints about this for a very long time. There's been conversation around it for a long time. Some people like to say, oh, they exaggerating and they, making stuff up and all of that. But, I have been in the health field myself, so I have seen this in real time as well as just the conversations around it and different people talking about it. And as much as I get annoyed with people putting out their phones and recording, this is definitely the situations where we need to be recording, we need to be documenting so that people can know that this is a real issue. It really is. And it is horrible.
It is. I remember my younger sister with her last baby. She had already had three. This was her last one. And I will never forget going to her house. She was in active labor. And she let me see if I could do it in this space that I got in my office. She sat with her leg up on a radiator like this and waited until she got to the edge and then went to the hospital because in her prior pregnancies, they would tell her, oh, you ain't ready. Oh, you haven't dilated enough. Go back home. Come back. Go back home. Come back until the baby was just about crowning. So with her last baby, who is now in her 30s, of course, she was like, I'm going to let her crown at home because the hospital continued to send her back and forth. This was over 30 years ago.
Yeah.
So I know that this is something that women go through, but I didn't know that it was such a disparity with Black women. I
Yeah.
didn't know that, right? I
Yeah.
had no idea because unless you know people who are, I haven't heard any horror stories
Mm-hmm.
in my family, but this appears to be the norm. Let me just read real quick
Yeah.
what the father said real quick. I'm gonna share
Mm-hmm.
real quick, Tamika. Hold on, we're gonna talk about that. So hold on, let me see if I can bring that up. This is just heartbreaking. It's taking me everything I got not to cry. So the father says, Leon Wells says, my wife gave birth 8 minutes after I delivered our baby in the truck. After being discharged from the hospital, first Texas, now Northwest Indiana, justice will be served. Racism is real. Hashtag Black pregnancy. Hashtag racism awareness. Hashtag for you um, page. What do you think?
Yeah. I mean, they could say that it doesn't have anything to do with racism, but I mean, it could be the decline of healthcare and overwork. There's a lot that goes into it, but I personally feel like it is a part of it because it's a lot of black and brown women. Like when you look up the loss of life for women or either the babies in delivery, we are the highest. So you
Wow.
gotta look at what is the reason behind that. And when I do my self care Saturdays, we have had conversations around this, and we've actually been talking about it a lot in the last couple of weeks because one of the storylines in Tyler Perry's Sisters was actually surrounding, and I mean, the way that this just played out with the first one in the first video, where she's yelling, screaming, they left her there for all that time. All of that was the same inside of this episode that we saw. It was very traumatic, very hard, but a lot of women came forward and said, wow, I'm glad they're sharing this. This was my story. This what happened to me. So many, and they had her waiting in the delivery room. They were saying they didn't have no rooms. You got to wait for this, wait for that. This is the character, but this is things that happen in real life. And she almost lost her life, and then one of the babies ended up not making it. And so, of course, you got the lawsuit and all of that. And it's fine that they saying this nurse got fired, but unless she loses her license and other things, then that really doesn't mean anything because she could just go to another hospital and work. Okay, I got fired from one hospital, I'm going to the next hospital, and we don't need her working anywhere.
How can you work in a hospital though and just have no compassion for people? I don't understand. Pick the occupation that doesn't pay, but the one that's near and dearer to your heart. Like why even go into that if you don't have a heart and a compassion
Exactly.
for people? I don't understand that.
Yes. Years ago, I want to say something about that, but I never understood that either, Auntie. I've been a home attendant, a home health aide, a medical assistant, medical tech, nurse. Went through all the stages. I did hospitals, nursing homes, hospice care, you name it. And I always say I treat the people the way I wanted to be treated. I treated them the way I would treat my family members. And I worked with some nurses that sometimes I used to have to check them, write them up, report them. Me and the patient would look at each other and say, oh, hell no, what's wrong with this? Like, if you having a bad day or whatever's going on, you should have stayed home. This ain't
Yes.
where you need to be. I always tried to advocate for people as well as advocating for my family members when they were going. And, Yizzle said in the comment, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I hope I'm not messing up your name. I'll chop up a name in a minute. I met a doctor who told me he doesn't believe that black people feel pain. A lot say that too. They think our tolerance is higher. I don't know where that myth comes from, but they will say you can handle it. You don't feel it as much as other people. Even a lot of lupus patients, sickle cell patients that have pain, they say that with them all the time. They got different little names they call them. Baby, we could go down a whole rabbit hole with that. Yeah, they think
Now
our
that's
pain
what I
tolerance is
saw at
higher.
the and that is one of the displays that I saw at the African American Museum, where this doctor was doing all these different experiments on pregnant slaves, that because they did not feel like they had pain. It was when I tell you, I froze at that exhibit and just bawled. I couldn't believe it, and then when I when you know when I looked at the chains that were on them, and I don't know how I saw chains or how I saw it right, but they were as small as this that were on these women's arms and their legs while they were giving birth and doing experiments. I'm telling you, I was like, what? I think I still have pictures of it because I was so shocked, unaware, illiterate of what they did to pregnant slaves. And this man was, they were just experiments for him. I couldn't believe it. And I was like, how can he think that if you're having a baby that there's no pain associated with it? I couldn't understand the mentality of that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you got constipation, your butt gonna hurt. So why in the world? You know what I'm saying? And you just
Mhm.
pushing out a little, booba.
Mhm.
So why in the world, if you have a vagina that has to expand, or everything has to expand to push that baby out, why would there be no pain associated with your whole uterus, everything expanding?
Exactly. Yeah.
Horrible, horrible. Any
Yeah.
more insight that you can give us on your experiences? This is horrible. And then the thing about it is, both of these women need to sue,
Oh, absolutely.
but it will never compensate you. It will never compensate you on your experience.
Yeah. It definitely won't. And I mean, I've seen a lot of patients like the second video where they sending them home. I've seen a lot of that. I've seen a lot of that. Oh, go home. Even when I was high risk with my son, and I remember being pregnant with him, and I was scared because I would see some bleeding, go to the hospital. It's like, oh no, you didn't lose it yet. Just go back home, like the way they would say it. Even my experience now with going to the doctors, I did a whole video. You have your good ones and you have your bad ones, and you don't know
Yeah,
which
because
one you're gonna get sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because your story had me just sitting there with my mouth open when you were talking about, just simply getting appointments and doctors not showing up, or referrals, and
Hmm.
like you need medical
Yeah.
insurance, but god dang it when it don't work. Like, I have a girlfriend that asked for a PET scan, and I think that's what it's called, a PET scan. And she was
Hmm.
told by one of her girlfriend's mother, they always going to deny twice.
Yeah.
If you need a PET scan, you got something serious going on. And
Hmm.
her mother told her they're always going to deny your PET scan twice. Why?
Yeah.
If you got insurance and you're paying a copay and a deductible every 2 weeks, once a month, once a quarter, why in the world do you have to have two PET scans allegedly
Hmm.
denied before, and then on a third one they give it to you? What
Yeah,
is that
that's
about?
exactly what I just went through a couple of months ago. My doctor was trying to get another PET scan and it got denied. They said, "Oh no, he have to put in for it again." Exact same thing.
Are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. The exact same thing. Yeah. So
I have been.
unfortunately, we have to advocate for ourselves, and it's horrible. Like when you in pain, you ain't thinking about none of that. But or you sick, you tired, whatever, you feeling weak, you ain't thinking about documenting nothing and advocating for yourself and having to argue with nobody. That's why if you can, because sometimes you just ain't got nobody to go with you. You got to go by yourself. But if you can, it's always good to have somebody else there with you to
To
record,
advocate.
even though they tell you you're not supposed to be recording, but how else are you going to be able to make sure that all of this is documented? Because even sometimes when they come and talk to you, you're not going to remember everything that they saying. Just different things like that. I always say make sure you document and make sure you have somebody with you to advocate for you. Um, yeah, because unfortunately, you never know which one you're gonna get. I even seen a video recently. If I could find it again, I'll send it to you because I don't know if you came across this one. It was a lady that was in the parking lot crying. Apparently, she had called the police. She said the doctor tried to push up on her and kiss her. When the cops first got on the scene, they talked to this lady so nasty. They was making it seem like, well, was you kissing him back? Why would he do that? And all of this kind of stuff. Did you hug him? Because she was saying he had told her cancer was like in remission or whatever, and was saying it's good news. Come here, give her a hug. But next thing you know, he tried to tongue her down. So they go in the office to talk to him. Do you know anything about this? And did you try to do it? Of course, he's denying everything. They say, did any other incidents come up with you in the past? He says no. But then when they start talking to the other doctors and nurses that's in the clinic, they say, well, actually, yes, there was another incident. Someone did report him before, and we gave him a warning that if this ever happens again, we would have to let him go. And they said, was the police called? They said, no, in that situation, they just came and reported it to us. It was no police call. So I'm like saying, I get it's kind of
his word against hers, whatever. And this is also why you shouldn't be in the doctor's office with just the doctor. Normally, is a nurse or assistant that comes in with them, but I guess maybe in the smaller towns they don't do it the same way. But at the same time, if you got a report like this, how you gonna say, "Oh well, if it's the next time"? Why even take that chance? So you still have the man working here. Think about the people that may not have reported it, and now come to find out, you getting this second report accusation of you trying to kiss on her. I didn't like it. I didn't like how the police was talking to her at
Send
first, but
that to
then
me.
when they heard the other doctors, then they said, "Well, wait a minute, and why y'all didn't?" And then they attitudes changed drastically, and they went back in there. I'm gonna try to find it because I saw it on TikTok. I said, "What kind of mess is this?"
And then
Yeah.
the thing about it is no apology. That's what I'm saying. It's the experience and the trauma because no apology from those police officers would have sufficed.
No.
Right? Because you didn't automatically see me as a liar, right? And it's about status, right? This is
Mhm.
a doctor and you're just a little old patient. If you
Mhm.
see down at the bottom, Janet says, I work in healthcare. They get approved the third time because the third time your appeal is reviewed by a board of new physicians that are not employed by your insurance company. Now
Mhm.
that's raggedy as
Okay. Yeah, I know it was something, and also they say like because we only supposed to get now if it's the first one, I guess because what I was told that, but then I was also told like the doctor has to say what he wants it for, what's changed that he feel like he need one again because it's supposed to be a certain amount you can get, whether it be per year, every 2 years. Some things you could get every 6 months. Because with me, they had did a body scan, baby. I had so many different scans. I didn't even know some of these scans existed, and I worked in the medical field. They had a PET scan, body scan, bone density test, MRI, CT scan, X-ray. I'm used to those, but it was like maybe 8 different scans they did on me. And then you turn around and you say you want to do another PET scan again, maybe 2, 3 months later, maybe 3 months. And so I don't know if it's like the time frame too, but they was like he have to let us know what else he's trying to look for. I guess that they didn't already get before because they only trying to pay out but so much. But it literally was 2 times it got denied, and then the third time it got approved. So I'm assuming that outside company looked at it and then approved it.
I have a couple of people. I don't know if you watch my videos, but all the time. But I know you
Mhm.
watch me. I've been talking in code about being very busy.
Mhm.
And I'm very busy because I have a couple of people who are my family members who are absolutely having health challenges. One
Mhm.
of them is someone that I go to chemotherapy. I go with her to chemo
Mhm.
every other week. And then in the weeks that I don't go, the week that I don't go, someone else goes with her. So I go with her to get the chemo ball removed,
Mhm.
the ball that she gets attached to when she
Mhm.
chemo. And I do that, right? And I am she has given me the right to get her HIPAA information.
Yes.
So I can sit in with her doctor, the doctor
Right.
information with me and all of that kind of stuff. And he said they were talking in one of the sessions about her needing a PET scan.
Mhm.
And he said he over writes everything so that when he asks for a PET scan, she gets one denial.
Mhm.
So he over does
Right.
everything. I mean, this happened. Her white blood cells are this. I'm
Mhm.
there, right? I'm there. Point blank, I'm there. I don't.
Yeah.
I go.
Yeah, it's very
I
important to have that, and also always get your medical records. Like I even had one
It
doctor.
is. Mm-hmm.
I went and got my medical records, and I had been telling him like, "Oh, the first time, that I got injection, I felt a little better, but the other times not so much." Well, he was putting in the chart. Oh, the patient said she feel 100% better. He was putting the complete opposite. None of the complaints I had been telling him was in my chart, and somebody else's chart was mixed in my chart. So I'm saying like that person probably has some of mine. So it's always good to go back and look at that too. Because let's just say, even with this incident we just finished watching, if that not been recorded, they may say, "Oh no, it wasn't like that," and look at the
Yeah,
records and what we have here. So you
yeah.
always want to double check all your stuff and make sure. Because I had no idea. I would have never thought that man was putting something completely opposite in my files at
And
all.
that is true because I know when I had my physical, and my doctor had talked to me about a situation, and I didn't say no. I just said, you know what, let me think about it. Let me look at some other resources. So
Mhm.
when I looked at my chart and looked at
Mhm.
my medical records and stuff, I saw that she said patient denied. No, I did not.
Right.
I had to go back and say, look, let me tell you something, bitch. What you not gonna do, right? Because that stuff will come and haunt you in the
Yeah, they'll say that in a minute. Yeah.
right. Don't say that I denied anything. I said that I would get some other. And then I have a brother who's dealing with some stuff, right?
Mhm.
And was recently in the hospital. I've been in the hospital like I stay in the hospital right now,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna get emotional. And I have to advocate for him because I think that we're just illiterate when it comes down to care, what's available, we should
Mhm.
be asking for,
Yes.
expectation, everything. So when I show up, I am the difficult black woman
Mhm.
who wants to know everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so why he didn't have this?
Mhm.
Did he have this? Oh well, no, so why isn't he? Why? So okay, wait a minute, hold on. Okay, so X, Y, and Z is going on. So why didn't he have this? Okay, so he was in John Hopkins, and then in you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we're ignorant about what our rights are, what we should
Mhm.
fight for, and the questions that we should ask.
Yeah.
You
And
know what I mean?
sometimes it's just not on your mind at that time, and then you'll get home and you'll be like, "Wow, I should have asked this. I should have asked that." So I also say write notes, but then when you're in the moment, like, because for me, just gonna share this one little piece because it was so much before that. But when I had got diagnosed with a tumor in my breast, and I went in the hospital. Other things happened. They had to keep postponing my surgery. So when I'm going for the follow up after they did the bone density and all that, I had this one doctor that walked in and says, "Okay, well, it has spread. It's in your bones now. It's incurable. There's nothing
Yeah,
we
I
could
remember you.
do. We got to just move to the next thing. Oh, do you want to have your son come in?" Like he just, I was like, "Well, wait a minute." The way he was talking was like, "Playing your funeral tomorrow, girl. We about to dig you, put you in the grave." And I called my girlfriend crying hysterical. She said no. She said, first of all, you shouldn't be at these appointments by yourself. You need somebody there with you. You can't take all this in because she has went through that herself and she's had like, blood clots, all kind of stuff, surgery on her brain, everything. She said, and I wasn't by myself. You're not gonna be by yourself. So from that point on, she's been with me at every appointment. She writes the things down. She puts my appointments on her calendar. She comes and picks me up and she's there and she's asking questions. Times that they didn't get back to me and they didn't let me know what my test results or whatever it is. She said, why wasn't this like what you just was saying? Why didn't she know about this? Why didn't y'all contact her? How come when she's looking on the march chart, she don't see it there? They don't like to see her coming, but I appreciate having her there and having her, support because sometimes when they telling me all this different stuff, y'all, it sound like what, like the teacher from
It
Charlie
does.
Brown.
It does. It's too much information. It's too much
It
information. Y'all,
is.
excuse me.
It is. It really is.
It's too much
So
information. It
yeah,
really is.
yeah. But I'm so sorry that this happened to these two women.
Me
But I'm
too.
glad it's exposing a problem, an issue that we really do have that's going on, and it has been going on for a long time. Hopefully, we can spread more awareness about this, and it can stop happening because nobody should have to experience anything like that.
Nobody. I mean,
Yeah.
that girl, when she was screaming and she said it's MIA, right? That's rectal labor. And I know I had a aunt that went through. rectal labor, right? And she was like, it just seemed like you just gonna boo boo out the biggest, and it's
Mm-hmm.
more painful because it's on that backside and not coming out. It just imagine if the woman who was in the car, which I think bothered me, just imagine if her baby was breached. Either one of them.
Yeah, it could have been any complications, and that would have been on them. It's one thing if you trying to get to the hospital, you go on labor, and you have the baby before you reach there. We've seen stuff like that. But for you to have her in there as your patient and then say, no, go home, and 8 minutes later, she having that baby in the car, no, that's on you.
Absolutely. And that's the thing about it is they didn't examine her. You don't get examined in triage.
Mm-mm.
Nobody's giving you nobody's doing that, right? So it's just to me, in my opinion, it's just total neglect
It
on,
is.
for
That's
both of these
absolutely
women.
neglect. Yeah,
And then
absolutely
then the
neglect.
baby had a bowel movement, and I know when babies have bowel movement, that's toxic, and that they're
Yes.
supposed to stop the movement of the baby, right, and clean
Yeah.
to make sure that right. Did she have a chance for them to do that? Probably not, because
Yeah.
the mother said the baby came out with the eyes open and it had the feces, right, the fecal matter in it. That's
Yeah.
like
She could have had an infection. She, God forbid, like anything. Oh, that's so horrible. I really hope that this lady is not able to work anywhere else. I don't know what profession you need to have, but it ain't that one.
I think they
Mm-mm.
both should sue too,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
It's not going to change the experience, but at least it will help a little bit. You understand what I'm saying? Feeling
Yeah.
like you got some kind of not even compensation, but just some kind of I don't know what the word is that I want to use, right? But it's just really it's just sad, and I
To
know.
make them change their practices, to let them know that this is not okay to be happening, and to even though a lot of times we learn stuff in classes and you ain't using half those things when you get in the hospital setting because the hospital setting is so different than whatever you learn in classes. And don't get me wrong, there is the part of because sometimes when I was working in the hospital, if it's 30 patients on the floor on a good day, I got 15. It's two of us that's working the floor. I got 15. The other person got
Oh
15.
my
If
god.
nobody's there, then I got all 30. How can I go to all of them? How can I give all of them the care that they need? When everybody's ringing their bells, how can I come to everybody? I'll be trying my best. You be pouring sweat trying to get the people. And sometimes I would come in and they say, oh, I'm so happy it's you because they didn't want to deal with some of them. And I didn't want to deal with them either. And I was working with them. So I understood how they felt. But you do feel overworked. It's like this should not be. We should have more people assisting. There should be more people working. So there is that issue too. But I feel like that's a separate issue than this issue. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
because I know the infant mortality rate is higher for Black women than it is for any other
Yeah.
women. And it's so sad because you don't want it to be a race issue.
Yeah.
And you don't want people to say, oh, they're always talking about race,
Mm-hmm.
always trying to play the black card. That's not what it is. It just is what it is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you gotta call a thing a thing.
Yeah.
Now, this nurse, it appears that this is just how she could be nasty to anyone. The one that got fired,
Right.
she
Mm-hmm.
seems like she'd be nasty to anybody.
Yeah.
Like
Yes.
seriously,
Some people are just nasty. There's that too. There's that too.
and it ain't nothing worse than a nasty nurse. It ain't nothing nastier than that. I saw
Yeah.
a Instagram reel where a lady who she was a cleaner. She cleaned up in the hospital, and one of the patients she had left him. She had asked for permission and left him some food. And
Mm-hmm.
when she came back the next day, he was in the old folks' home. And when he came back the next day, the food was there. So she said she was like, okay, why the food? Why the food? Did she was thinking it in her mind? She
Mm-hmm.
waited till she had an opportunity to go in and say something to him about it. He said, nobody will feed me. I can't feed myself.
Right. I think I saw that. Yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, it happens way more than it happens way more than it should. I'll just say that because I saw it a lot in the hospital. And my sister, God bless, she has sickle, so she would stay calling me on the phone, or if I go there, oh, this lady, she's so nasty. Why she gotta talk to me like that? And they always would say they sicklers and they seeking, and they over exaggerating pain. They had like a lot of stereotypes around them too, and I ain't play that. Whenever I heard that, I was always checking them, and I'm saying you can't see pain to know somebody
Yeah.
pain and say they exaggerate, and that just
And
always
what a
bothers me.
person's pain threshold is. Because if you blink me with a little pink, I'm.
Yeah, and baby, I still remember my labor pains, and that's almost 30 years ago,
Me
honey.
too.
I can remember them like it was yesterday. Okay.
Me too. And when I was having my baby, they was like, okay, the baby heart rate is dropping, your heart rate is dropping. We're gonna have to do a C-section. I said, no, we not. I'm gonna
Yep.
push. And I'm telling you, I said, I'm pushing. They were like, no, you got to go in and get a C-section. I said, I am going to push this. Give me one more chance to push this baby out, right?
Hmm.
Girl, when I tell you I had 49 stitches, I was getting that baby out. They was not going to take me to give me a cesarean. I just did not.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
want that
I had
complication.
a similar experience too. They were saying his heart rate was dropping, and they wanted to give me a C-section. My cousin said, "No, give her a minute. She gonna push this baby out," and I did.
Yeah,
Well,
I said,
yeah.
I got this. Come on, come on, come
Mhm.
on. I'm telling you, when I
Yeah.
mean that baby came out, that baby came out. But I told myself up, making
Mm.
sure that I did not have it. And I thought, at the time that I had great hospital care and stuff like that. But one of the things that I did choose was a doula.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I chose a midwife and a doula. I
Okay.
didn't want to
Okay.
have a traditional a
Hmm.
doctor when I have, especially because I was already high risk, and I had toxemia really bad.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I wanted somebody that would let me do as much natural
Hmm.
as I could do, and let me kind of drive. But of course, they sedated me for a long time too because my blood pressure was so
Yeah.
bad with the toxemia.
Hmm.
And do you know I still take pills to this day for that? I did not have a clue that having a baby can change your whole anatomy.
Oh yes.
And they were like, "You're
Yes.
never going to
Yes.
not have high blood pressure." And I was like, "Yes, I am." Woo, 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 woo. I stopped taking the pills and everything. And every time I would go to get my physical, they'd be like, "Oh, your pressure's slightly up." And I'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh," until they just was like, "Look, you're
Hmm.
not going to reverse this. You need to take the pressure." So I take my medicine every day. I
Yes.
hate it, but I take it every day because that was one of my toxemia was so bad. I had my baby 5 weeks before because they was like, okay, we got to medevac you. Your pressure is just too high with this baby in,
Hmm.
right? I went through a lot with that pregnancy, but that's what happened when you're an old bitch having a baby. So you got any
Mm.
last? I'm glad to see you. Just been looking gorgeous, honey. I'm trying to tell you.
Oh, thank you, Auntie. You look gorgeous too. Thank
No,
you for
I'm
having me.
serious.
I was just listening to this and I'm like, oh wow. I said I seen the first one, but I didn't see the second one. And I'm like, this is horrible because I kept seeing people, share it on social media and talking about it. And I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, this happens way more than people may want to believe that it do. Unfortunately. And I hope we can put a stop to it. I hope we can lower the numbers because it shouldn't be happening to anybody. I don't care what your damn color is. You should not
Me
be
either.
experiencing this.
Me
Yeah.
either. Nobody should. Not to just be getting put out.
No. Mm-mm.
And then you
Never.
sitting up there. You're sitting up there worried about. So how many babies did you have? The mother said we done already told you
Yeah.
who the doctor was. So you basically wasn't even listening while the girl
Mm-mm.
is sitting there getting up, trying to relieve her. I mean, on her knees. Like, are you kidding me? You can do this at my bedside. I've come in
Right. You supposed to be putting her on the bed, prepping her, and then if you
right.
want to ask any other questions, ask them then. How the hell you see somebody screaming like that? Oh, how many kids you have? When you said your due date was? I said, what? yeah, that was pure ignorance and just disgusting.
But the mother
I
said, so do you treat all your patients like this?
right.
The mother saw a disparity in the treatment.
Yeah. And
And
I'm
it's
so glad
sad.
her mother was there with her.
I am too. I am too. And then I guess they probably figured maybe she, because they have there's a stigma, with being a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you got a whole bunch of kids. People automatically assume you're on welfare. I don't know what
Right.
some people's
Or yeah.
mind frame is, right? But people will, because even I, in some ways, put a person in a box. I will put you in a little box, right? And be wrong about it. Most of the time I'm not. But I will put I'll put people
Hmm.
in a box, and not because I'm trying to be any kind of way. It's just all I know.
Yeah.
And until you know something different, right, you don't do anything different. So I'm just hoping that they have, healthy babies, and that the little baby that had the fecal matter, in the womb with him, because that's very
Yeah.
dangerous, is
Yeah.
going to be okay, and that the test results come back and he'll make a full recovery.
Yes. I'm definitely praying for both of them, and I want these numbers to go down. That's really the only thing I could say, because I see people share stories about this a lot. I've had family and friends that have talked about that. Like when my same girlfriend that's been coming to support me now, when she was having her last child, the doctor was telling her about her body shape and, oh, you had these other kids, the way her body was shaped. That means we don't have to, rush to take you in the delivery room. We don't have to give you stuff for pain. She was like, she never heard no stuff like that before in her life.
Wait a minute, what? He said what?
Yeah, he was talking about like the way I guess her hips was built for the baby to come out, and he was like, "Oh, you had other babies already. Why you yelling and stuff like that? You can handle it. You can take it. Things to that degree." Yeah, and she was
Hmm.
like, all the, that was her fourth child. The two she had, me and her like had around the same time. And then she went back like 58 years later and started over. She's like, I don't know why I did that. But when she was having the fourth one, he was like, you should already. And she was like, no, my other kids, it wasn't this kind of experience. Every pregnancy is different.
Yeah,
But
every pregnancy is different. What in the
yeah.
foolishness?
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh
that's the way they
my.
look at it though.
So if you got
Hmm.
tiny hips,
Right.
it's harder.
Hmm.
Some of the
That's the
some of
way
the
he
little
was
small
saying.
women just be popping them babies out.
Exactly.
Ooh,
That don't got nothing to do
right?
with it.
It
Hmm.
doesn't. Pain
Yeah.
is pain, and every baby's different. Every pregnancy, from what I understand, is different. So you can't say, well, you know what, this one is X, Y, and Z pounds, because a lot of people feel like, okay, the baby is a certain amount of pounds, it's easier for them to come out. No, it ain't.
No, it don't go by that either. Yep. Mm-mm.
No, it ain't either. Well, I am praying
Yeah.
everything is going well with you. I keep you in
I'm
my
coming.
prayers.
I'm coming along one day at a time. I did get some good news, and I'm just hoping to keep going in that direction. I
Did you
appreciate the
share it on your
prayers.
channel yet?
Did I? I don't even know. I might not.
I
I
don't
think
think
I
you
gave.
did.
I think I gave the first update, but I don't think I gave the second one. So probably
Okay, well,
not.
I'll wait. Okay, I'll wait for with everybody else, because I know everybody is concerned, and everybody loves you over there, including me, child. I be in the bushes. Sometimes I'll fall out, but most of the time I keep myself in the bushes. But
Hmm.
trust me, I've been praying. I just been so busy with family members, and it just really makes me think, you older girl, and this is something you're going to be seeing. So I am like in that hospital whenever I am needed, and I am absolutely at the chemotherapy. Like, child, you would, girl, I be packing lunch. We be packing lunch, and I be giving her, cookies and stuff she ain't supposed
Hmm.
to have. We be doing.
Hmm. Well, God bless
What's the
you.
name of your channel? Her channel is called TAMIEKA.
Hmm. Tamika's Zen. Hmm. I was just gonna say, God bless you for being there. and give you the strength, because it takes a toll on you to be a caregiver and to be there for somebody else too. It's like when you the one that's sick is a toll, and when you take care of somebody that's sick is a toll. I've been on both ends, so I definitely know and understand that. So I pray for you to have the strength to do what you need to do for the ones you love, and know when to take your rest. Okay.
I
Yeah.
do. I love
I
you.
love you too.
Thanks
Bye,
for coming
cousin.
on.
Thank you.
That's my Tamika. That is Tamika from Tamika's Den. She covers love after lockup. She does self care for women, and she also reviews like movies and stuff like on Netflix and Hulu, and then she's got some other ones that she does. So she's over there at the Den. She is the sweetie pie. And I love having her over here at this channel. I just want to thank everybody who yes, she does, Cece. She has a beautiful spirit. I want to thank everybody for coming in and for being a part of this. Please make sure that you continue the conversation down in the comment section. You never know if what you say in the comments will help encourage someone else. I see a lot of you all sharing your stories, and I appreciate you sharing your stories with someone else. We gotta, we have to treat people right. You have to. And you think that people in the medical field will do it, and just sometimes you just see people, it's just not the right job. Like if I was to be an astronaut, I would not, it wouldn't be the right job for me, right? Because I don't think that way. I ain't into space or stuff like that, and I'm not good with heights. I'm squeamish when I'm on the plane. I don't like landing. So why would I be an airline pilot, an airline stewardess? Why would I apply for the job if it just doesn't fit my personality? If it doesn't fit my character, if it's not something I'm interested in, then that's the last job that I will ever want. And so I think that people should choose jobs not because it pays a good salary. It appears to come with job security. I think that people should pick jobs based on their personality and their tolerance level in whatever profession that they choose. Because I'm telling you right now, it's a lot of people looking for a job. So if you don't want it, somebody else do. I love y'all. Y'all, let's continue to keep them in our prayers. Make sure, again, you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel and share this video where you share your videos at. I love you all so much. And until we meet again, y'all be safe out there in those streets and in the water. Bye, y'all.